Chapter 1. The birth of a legend. In the heart of Brooklyn, New York, lies Bedford-Stuyvesant, a neighborhood that has long been a cultural epicenter for Black excellence, resilience, and creativity. Among its many claims to fame is the upbringing of one of hip-hop's most influential figures, Antonio Hardy, better known to the world as Big Daddy Kane. Born on September 10, 1968, Kane grew up in an era when the streets of Bed-Stuy were buzzing with emerging sounds, styles, and rhythms that would soon give birth to a global phenomenon, hip-hop. Antonio was raised in a close-knit family that instilled in him values of discipline, determination, and respect. His parents worked hard to provide for their children, and despite the challenges of urban life, they fostered an environment where young Antonio could dream big. From a young age, he showed an affinity for music, rhythm, and poetry, often entertaining friends and family with his quick wit and knack for wordplay. Bed-Stuy in the 1970s and 80s was a microcosm of Black culture and creativity, but it was also a place where young men had to be sharp and resourceful to navigate the struggles of urban life. The streets offered both inspiration and peril. For Kane, they became the backdrop to a story of triumph over adversity, a narrative that would later resonate through his lyrics. As a child, Kane attended public school 308 on Gates and Lewis Avenues, a few blocks away from his home. The schoolyard and surrounding streets were where he first began to develop his style, watching older kids freestyle and trade verses. His proximity to the burgeoning hip-hop scene gave him a front-row seat to the genre's early evolution. It was here that Antonio began honing his craft, blending the fast-paced energy of his environment with the smooth charisma that would later define his persona. Though many kids his age were drawn to sports or other pursuits, Antonio gravitated toward music. He admired performers who exuded confidence and command, traits he would emulate as he grew older. The disco and funk records his parents played at home, combined with the rising influence of hip-hop, began to shape his musical identity. Even as a teenager, Kane stood out. His friends and peers noticed not only his ability to craft intricate rhymes but also his unwavering determination to succeed. In an era when hip-hop was still finding its footing, Kane saw its potential to be more than just a pastime. It was a way out, a way up, and a way to make his voice heard. By the time he was in high school, Kane's talent was undeniable. He started performing at local parties and block events, capturing the attention of anyone who heard him spit. His smooth delivery, combined with his lyrical prowess, quickly set him apart. At a time when most aspiring rappers were still mimicking the pioneers of the genre, Kane was already carving out his own unique style, a blend of rapid-fire lyricism and an effortlessly cool demeanor. The neighborhood played a pivotal role in his development. Bed-Stuy was more than just home. It was a source of inspiration, a proving ground, and a constant reminder of why he needed to succeed. The community embraced him, and in turn, he represented them, carrying the pride and struggles of Bed-Stuy in every verse he wrote. The seeds of greatness had been planted, and Antonio Hardy was on the path to becoming Big Daddy Kane. Little did the world know, this young man from the streets of Brooklyn would soon redefine what it meant to be an MC, leaving an indelible mark on the culture and the music that shaped him. This was just the beginning. Chapter 2. The roots of Kane. Antonio Hardy's journey to becoming Big Daddy Kane was not just a product of natural talent, it was the result of years of dedication, a deep connection to his cultural roots, and an unrelenting drive to succeed. The late 1970s and early 1980s were a transformative time for music and culture, and hip-hop was emerging as the voice of the streets. For a young Antonio, this burgeoning art form became both an outlet and an inspiration. From a young age, Kane was drawn to storytelling and rhythm. The disco and funk records that echoed through his household became the foundation for his love of music. Artists like James Brown, Curtis Mayfield, and Marvin Gaye not only influenced his sense of rhythm but also instilled in him the importance of storytelling with soul and purpose. Their music told stories of struggle, love, and triumph, narratives that resonated deeply with Kane and would later shape his own lyrics. The streets of Bed-Stuy also played a significant role in his development. The neighborhood was alive with block parties, where DJs like Cole Herc and Grandmaster Flash laid down the blueprints for what would become hip-hop. The booming bass, cutting-edge scratching, and energy of MCs on the mic captivated Kane. These gatherings were more than just parties. They were cultural phenomena that gave birth to a new generation of artists. Kane began practicing his craft in these informal settings. He would study the greats MCs like Mel Mel, Kool Moe Dee, and Grandmaster Caz, listening to their delivery, dissecting their wordplay, and analyzing their ability to control a crowd. But he wasn't content with imitation. He wanted to innovate. It was during this time that Antonio adopted the moniker Big Daddy Kane. The name, inspired by a mix of his admiration for martial arts films and a nickname given to him by friends, reflected his larger-than-life aspiration. Kane stood for King Asiatic Nobody's Equal, a bold declaration of his confidence and belief in his own abilities. Kane's first real break came when he met a young Biz Markie. The two quickly bonded over their love of hip-hop and began collaborating. Biz, known for his eccentric style and beatboxing prowess, introduced Kane to Marley Marl, a legendary producer and DJ who was assembling a group of the most talented MCs in New York, the Juice Crew. Joining the Juice Crew was a pivotal moment in Kane's career. The collective, which included artists like Roxanne Shant, Kool G Rap, and MC Shan, was a powerhouse in the hip-hop scene. Under Marley Marl's mentorship, Kane began to refine his skills and gain exposure to a wider audience. He started writing for Biz Markie, crafting clever rhymes that showcased his wit and lyrical dexterity. The Juice Crew not only provided Kane with a platform but also pushed him to elevate his game. The competitive nature of the group meant that every member had to bring their best to the table. Kane thrived in this environment, using it as an opportunity to sharpen his flow and perfect his craft. During this time, Kane began developing the signature style that would later set him apart. His fast-paced delivery, intricate wordplay, and charismatic presence were unlike anything the hip-hop world had seen. He was a master of balance, combining streetwise grit with a polished, almost regal demeanor. This duality became a hallmark of his persona, earning him respect from both hardcore hip-hop heads and mainstream audiences. As his reputation grew, so did his ambition. Kane wasn't just content with being a part of the Juice Crew. He wanted to be a leader in hip-hop. He poured his energy into writing, performing, and perfecting his craft, laying the groundwork for what would soon become a legendary career. By the mid-1980s, the foundation had been laid. Big Daddy Kane was no longer just Antonio Hardy from Bed-Stuy. He was a rising star with the potential to change the game. With the support of the Juice Crew and his own relentless drive, he was ready to take the world by storm. The roots of Kane were firmly planted, and the time was right for him to rise. The stage was set for a new era in hip-hop, and Big Daddy Kane was poised to be its frontman. Chapter 3, The Juice Crew Connection. When Antonio Hardy, now known as Big Daddy Kane, joined the Juice Crew, he entered one of the most influential collectives in hip-hop history. Founded by Marley Marl, the Juice Crew was a supergroup of MCs and DJs that dominated the 1980s rap scene. Its members were known for their lyricism, versatility, and ability to push the boundaries of hip-hop. For Kane, joining this powerhouse collective was both a proving ground and a launchpad for his career. The Juice Crew was more than just a group. It was a movement, comprised of legendary artists like Roxanne Shant, Kool G Rap, MC Shan, Craig G, and Biz Markie. The collective became synonymous with innovation and excellence. Each member brought a unique flavor to the table, and together, they redefined what hip-hop could be. Kane's entry into the Juice Crew came through his friendship with Biz Markie. The two met at a block party and immediately hit it off, bonding over their love for music and comedy. Kane's sharp wit and lyricism complemented Biz's playful, offbeat style. Recognizing Kane's talent, Biz introduced him to Marley Marl, the crew's producer and mastermind. Marley Marl quickly saw Kane's potential. With his ability to write clever, intricate rhymes and deliver them with unmatched precision, Kane was a natural fit for the Juice Crew. His contributions to Biz Markie's songs, including ghostwriting verses for tracks like Pickin' Boogers, showcased his ability to craft rhymes that were both humorous and technically impressive. One of the Juice Crew's most iconic moments came with the release of the Symphony, produced by Marley Marl. The track featured Kane alongside Kool G Rap, Master Ace, and Craig G, each delivering standout verses over a stripped-down, piano-driven beat. Kane's verse was a masterclass in lyricism and flow. When it comes to rhymes, I give you more than you can stand. Me rhymes are so dope. And the rappers be like fans every time I rock the mic. I can lift a new hand, so sit back and relax and let the Big Daddy expand. The chemistry between the artists was electric, and the song became a defining moment for the Juice Crew. The Symphony not only highlighted the individual talents of its members but also cemented the group's place in hip-hop history. For Kane, it was a breakout performance that showcased his ability to shine among some of the best MCs in the game. Within the Juice Crew, competition was fierce, but it was also a source of inspiration. Kane often found himself sparring lyrically with Kool G Rap, another heavyweight in the crew. The friendly rivalry pushed both artists to elevate their craft, resulting in some of the most innovative and influential music of the era. Kane's time with the Juice Crew also taught him the importance of versatility. The group's diverse lineup exposed him to different styles and approaches to music, which he absorbed and incorporated into his own work. This adaptability would later become one of Kane's greatest strengths, allowing him to transition seamlessly between hard-hitting battle raps and smooth, soulful tracks. Despite his growing reputation, Kane remained humble and dedicated to the art form. He viewed his role in the Juice Crew not just as a stepping stone but as an opportunity to contribute to a larger legacy. The collective's success was a testament to the power of collaboration, and Kane took pride in being part of a group that elevated hip-hop to new heights. By the late 1980s, the Juice Crew was at the peak of its powers, and Kane was emerging as one of its brightest stars. His work with the group laid the foundation for his solo career, providing him with the skills, exposure, and confidence to step into the spotlight on his own. The Juice Crew connection was more than just a chapter in Kane's story, it was the crucible in which his artistry was forged. It was here that he honed his skills, found his voice, and learned the true potential of hip-hop as a medium for expression and innovation. With the support of Marley Marl and his fellow crew members, Kane was ready to take the next step and cement his place as a legend in his own right. Chapter 4. The Symphony. If there is one song that captures the essence of Big Daddy Kane's rise within the Juice Crew, it is the legendary track The Symphony, released in 1988 and produced by Marley Marl. This iconic posse cut brought together some of the greatest MCs of the era: Big Daddy Kane, Kool G Rap, Master Ace, and Craig G. It wasn't just a song, it was a declaration of lyrical dominance and a showcase of the collective power of the Juice Crew. At the time, posse cuts were a popular way for groups to highlight their members' talents, but the Symphony set a new standard. The track opened with a simple yet unforgettable piano loop, layered over a hard-hitting beat. It was minimalist in its production, allowing the MCs to take center stage. East's entry into the song was nothing short of explosive. He rapped, setting it off, letting it off, begin and road to the endin'. You never been in to move the groove with the smooth rap lord like a bottle of juice. Rhymes are being poured. Chapter 5. The Breakout. Raw and set it off. By the late 1980s, Big Daddy Kane was poised to take center stage. His time with the Juice Crew had cemented his reputation as a formidable lyricist, but it was his solo debut that would catapult him into hip-hop stardom. Kane's first single, Raw, released in 1987, introduced the world to his unique blend of charisma, speed, and technical mastery. Raw was a statement, a declaration that Big Daddy Kane was not just another rapper but a force to be reckoned with.